Dudley Dawson joining us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. And I know, so Dudley, yesterday I just listened to the basketball broadcast on my way to Norman after calling the baseball game. You guys that were in the press box, a lot of you guys pulled double duty going to both games. It was a long day, and you got 2 wins, so that's not bad.
Yeah, and, they were both exciting ones after a baseball Tuesday when the lumber was out. The pitching was shining yesterday on both teams. And tell you what, Arkansas State's got a much better club, I think, than it has these past few years. It's been up here. I think Mike Silva's doing a good job over there. But it was good for Arkansas to have tough midweek games, have a little adversity when you're home.
I'm reading a text in from one of the listeners that Andy thinks that the in-state schools will hurt Arkansas's NCAA seed again. Well, if they lose to the in-state schools, that's certainly going to hurt. But I think ASU's RPI won't be as bad as it might have been the last time these teams played. Yeah, I mean, that's usually, I guess, one of the things you hear about in-state. But I think that's a much better team, and I also think this pitching staff's got a chance to to be special. It's just, do you think they need somebody that steps into the role of actually being a real ace, which Gackle can be?
I think it would hurt, and boy, I tell you what, Colin Fisher looks ready to have a big year. Obviously, great effort there on last Sunday, but we've seen this coming in the scrimmages in the fall and in the early ones before the season started in January. I think he has a chance to do it too. I think if you can get 100 each going, or James DeCramer steps up and the way he did yesterday, and I know he was feeling sick, but was dominating there for a while, and I think at 96, 97 there early on. I like him as a potential fourth starter, or if they need somebody out of that pitching rotation, he can come in there, it looks like to me.
Great win for the basketball team last night. So I don't know. You can't walk away from a basketball win feeling the same way you do about a 1-0 baseball win midweek. But at first, man, I was a little bit nervous listening, and it was A&M that jumped out with all that energy. But I should know that Arkansas was just waiting in the weeds just for a little while, and it was just that first media timeout they were waiting for.
Yeah, and I think that there were two times in that game. Once when I think Texas A&M came from 15 down and got within 4, and Arkansas pushed it back out. Billy Richmond's obviously playing great right now, and we know who the SEC Player of the Year is. Whether they're going to give it to him or not, we'll see. But Mr. Acuff, didn't have his greatest game, but still, his not so good games are still very good. I do think it will help him in seeing the style of play that Bucky Ball brings, Bucky McMillan, the head coach there at Texas A&M, and the effort which they go with. I think that was good for them, and that's a really good win. And it kind of, with Tennessee losing it the night before at Missouri, it kind of, helps you solidify your opportunity to get one of those 4 double buys. And we'll see. I think Florida's the best team in the SEC right now, and they'll that's going to be quite a challenge for them down there Saturday. But you'll be able to go in and at least have a shot at it.
Yeah, Arkansas is going to be a tough out. You don't. Arkansas doesn't beat themselves, Dudley. There was one stat, I think it was at halftime. Arkansas had 4 turnovers but forced 13. I mean, it's that we don't. This team really doesn't beat yourself, and I think when you get into March, guard play wins. We know that. You got to be able to hit shots. We haven't been shooting the ball great, but guard play wins. And then can you get something out of your bigs? I like Nick Pringle. I like Malik. I like this whole team. I think each player brings something to this team, no question about it. But I feel like we need everybody. And maybe we don't. Maybe there's some games you can get away with playing. Like or Nick Pringle's going to play 6 minutes in an NCAA tournament game. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I got back in the car yesterday after covering the game, and a national show was on where the radio, Arkansas radio game had been, and one of the first things I heard was a guy say, there's these 4 top five seeds that a lot of people think are, just knocking on the door to get one of those top 4 seeds: Alabama, Arkansas, St. John's, and I'm having brain freeze on who the other one was, but he said, I think Arkansas may be the most vulnerable because of some bad losses they've had. And I was sitting there thinking, let me go back in my head. Where did they have bad losses? I mean, they had some on the road, but I don't know about bad losses. Do y'all?
No, we don't have bad losses, Dudley. That's just somebody who doesn't know this team. Those. I mean, we've had games where maybe we haven't played our best, and I think we're playing better now than we were 40 days ago.
Yeah, and you want to talk about a bad loss? You want to talk about a bad loss? St. John's missing their last 24 shots last night and getting run by UConn. That's a bad loss.
That's what I'd be worried about. I mean, even in some of Muss's teams had bad losses in January, and it certainly didn't seem to affect them very much when they went to the Elite Eight. It's like you got to worry. It's all about how you're playing right now, not what happened in November or December or really even January in the sport of college basketball, Dudley. It's all about, if you're worried about March, well, it's about how you're playing in February.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of taking us back to baseball a little bit, the loss to Arkansas State, I think they're going to end up being in the tournament as well. But it's about what you're going to get done in the SEC. That's where Arkansas always makes its hay and gets its seed and all that. And again, I think playing these early tough games, tougher than maybe some people would have thought, I think it can only help them. And they were in adverse situations all day yesterday and certainly on Tuesday.
Cliff says Auburn was a bad loss. Maybe the way that Auburn's playing right now and the fact they got blown out, that was a bad loss. But I also know, that feels like it was a long time ago. But it still happened. It's still this year's team. So, I mean, I guess in their mind it means that could happen again.
Love to play Auburn in the SEC tournament.
Right, because Auburn's a bubble team right now. I think you would smoke them right now.
And that was at Auburn, so.
Right, exactly, and it was at Auburn. What are you seeing from Billy Richmond? This is we've always known about the energy and athleticism and everything, but there's been more of a man. I mean, his mid-range game is there. We know he can get to the rim, defend. His star turn has really been something to see, and it almost makes me wonder if there's somebody else that has another level to push it to on this team with as talented as they are.
Yeah, Billy Richmond started to see shots go down, and when it did, if he knocks his threes down, then the mid-range game just gets going, and obviously, he's probably the pump fakes he's got going now, and people are so worried about him driving to the goal that he's really playing well. But I tell you what, defensively, I'm still not sold on this team defensively. But I do think he has raised his level in that. And as Coach Richardson used to say back in the day, they're touching a lot of balls, getting a lot of steals, and getting that transition points that they need to have over the other team.
Did it look, and again, I'm listening to the game yesterday, Chuck and Zim were pointing out, Zim a lot, on how Acuff was such an active defender that he hadn't seen him defend like that. Did it look like Darius took his defense to a level that you hadn't quite seen yet this year?
I would say that I noticed him not giving up as many layups. I think that's one of the things that you've seen a lot this year. I mean, the kid's playing every minute, and he focuses a lot on the offensive end, and get some heat for the defense. But I tell you what, the last night you didn't see as many layups where they just went around him, from him being tired or him being disinterested. I don't know if disinterested is the right word, but it looks like that sometimes. He did play better defensively last night, and I wonder, if he's getting tired of people talking about his defense.
Well, yeah, maybe he is. But I mean, as quick as you are on one side, sometimes I've wondered if that means if you're not the best defender, is that a matter of effort? I don't know if that's the case with Acuff though.
Yeah, he has he's put this team on, and I mean, obviously, the other guys have been good too to get him to this point. But he's had this team on his back for most of the season, and I get it every once in a while if you have to rest. Now, Coach Sutton wouldn't, but, I get it every once in a while if you have to rest on that end.
It's a good point from JT in Hot Springs, and I just checked it out. Does Arkansas really have any bad losses if all 7 losses are quad 1 losses? Like they're undefeated against quads 2, 3, and 4. So are there any bad losses?
I don't, like I said, I don't think so. The metrics are what everybody uses this day instead of the eye test. And we could go, and look at that Auburn game, and I'm sure see things that Arkansas didn't do well and all that. But I will say that the metrics, lead Arkansas to being a 5 seed on the verge of being a 4 seed. So I think that's legitimately what they are.
We go 3-0 these last 3 games. Probability. How do we finish?
I can't do 100% because I think Florida's really good, and I think Arkansas will probably get beat. But I think Arkansas will win the middle game, and then Missouri. Man, that's a tough place to play, and people are finding it out. Arkansas may go 1-2, but I'll take 2-1 and be happy with it.
You know that stretch where football's winding down, fight nights keep rolling, and you still want action every night? That's February, and that's where MyBookie really shines. I'll bet the games, sure, but once they're over, I slide right over to the casino and keep it moving. Slots, live dealers, blackjack, roulette, same account, all in one. There's always something going on, too. Cash drops, slot tournaments, live dealer jackpots. You log in and there's action waiting. That's why I keep telling people MyBookie isn't just for game day. It's built for late nights and that post-Super Bowl hangover. Head on over to mybookie.ag now and use promo code HOGS.